Hey everyone, today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the Veikk Studio 16 pen display. In the world of drawing tablets, there are so many different choices to choose from. You've got your Wacoms, your XP pens, your Huions, and so on. Now, I actually hadn't heard of Veikk before they reached out for this video, so we're going to be looking at if they can go head to head with the competition and seeing what sets them apart. This review sample was provided to me by Veikk, but all of the opinions expressed here are my own, and of course Wyatt's. Wyatt, come say hi. Well, as you know, a pen display plugs directly into your laptop or PC. You can use it to draw in any application of your choice, but also you can use it for sculpting and other kinds of creative work too. It's not a touchscreen and it doesn't have a separate operating system, it literally just connects to your existing hardware. So when you get the Studio 16 pen display, it comes in this box which is fully recyclable, and there's also some artwork of the tablet on the front. I'm a really big fan of space and planet stuff, so this was kind of a nice introduction, and it only got better when I started to unbox it. The first thing you'll see when unboxing is the actual tablet, which is also way thinner and sleeker than I expected. It's nice and lightweight, but doesn't feel cheap. And underneath that are all of the accessories. And check out everything we get with the Studio 16. We have a drawing glove, a stand, 3 cables, 2 battery-free pens, a pen holder, and like way more pen nibs than I've ever seen any company provide. Starting with the drawing glove, it feels nice and lightweight, and the stitching is pretty well done. We also have Veikk's logo nicely sewn on the front. Though I personally don't ever use drawing gloves just because it feels a little bit slippery when I'm drawing, but it's nice that they included it anyway. Also, my hands aren't the biggest in the world, and while they fit me just fine, they may not fit you if you have much larger hands than me, just something to keep in mind. When it comes to the cables, Veikk has you covered. They provide a 3-in-1 USB cable, a USB-C to C cable, and a USB extension cable. Huge points to Veikk for providing all of these because now it really doesn't matter what kind of setup you use. In the past, I'd have to order some of these separately, which was annoying because sometimes they were even out of stock with certain companies. I always thought tablet companies should provide all of them and not assume what kind of setup we have anyway. Now, I use a PC, so I definitely need the 3-in-1 cable, but having the USB-C to C cable is nice because if you have a laptop or if you want to connect to your smartphone, it just gives you a bit more versatility when it comes to setup. Oh, and Wyatt, what do you think of all the cables so far? Which is definitely true. The port provided doesn't work with generic USB-C to C cables and is Veikk specific, so I guess try not to lose the one they provide you. Moving on to the battery-free pens, this was extremely surprising to me, but Veikk actually gives you 2. And no, they're not the exact same. One is a thicker grip pen, which is similar to most other drawing tablet ones out there, but another one here is much thinner, kind of like an Apple pen. Or a pen pineapple apple pen. I've never actually used a pen this thin before with drawing tablets, so I'm actually really keen to try it out. You've got your standard 2 mappable buttons on the side, but no eraser on the end, which is fine by me because again, I also never really used that. When it comes to storage, you get this nice clear acrylic container with a magnet for a latch, but also a free stand that you can use to put any of the pens in for quick access. Also, with the pens, check out how many nibs Veikk gives you. Other tablet companies usually limit these, making you buy more refills, so I really do appreciate how many Veikk provides. They obviously want you to take care of the display. The final accessory we get with the Studio 16 pen display is this stand. Once again, it's awesome that Veikk included the stand and didn't make it a separate purchase. Now, the stand itself looks pretty fancy and it has 3 levels of adjustment, but it does feel a little bit cheap. When I was using the tablet, one of the little rubber legs came off, which granted was an easy fix, but I still feel like the design could have been a little bit better. If you want to change the height of the stand, you actually have to physically move the tablet off and then kind of futz with the back panel parts, and it's just a little bit unnecessary and cumbersome. It doesn't really feel as intuitive as I feel like it could be. I do wish there were more degrees of tilt for the stand, like Huion's 6 modes versus Veikk's 3, but honestly, I feel like I'm kind of nitpicking because it's really nice that it still comes included anyway. And now onto the tablet. Setting up the tablet itself was extremely easy. Just plug in the USB cables and then connect the micro HDMI and USB-C prong, and voila, it works. Once it's connected, you'll need to download Veik's driver on the website and you're good to go. From here, it's the same as pretty much any other tablet setup, so you can change and add new shortcuts, customize your pen pressure, and calibrate the screen. Actually, yeah, Wyatt brings up a good point. You can manually adjust the brightness using the side buttons, but apart from that, there's no way to change the colors or contrast apart from using Windows 11's calibration. This kind of feels like a missed opportunity because it's one less thing to tweak or customize if you need be. That being said, the colors themselves out of the box look vibrant enough and seem pretty accurate from what I can tell. I'm not super technical in this kind of stuff, I'm just kind of using my eye and it seems pretty good. Moving on, as I discuss the features of the tablet, we're going to be watching me work on my upcoming illustration, which is a mashup of my OCs and the characters from Stray. When it comes to actually using the tablet, my initial impressions are that the pen pressure feels really nice to use. You can get super varied line weights and this feels really easy compared to other tablets I've used previously. There was no real adjustment period or lots of messing around with the settings. It just felt right to me off the bat. However, apart from the pen pressure, the drawing feel is a slightly different story. Veikk also uses the commonly phrased "feels like drawing on paper" when promoting this tablet, but I kinda disagree. I still think that spot goes to the Artist Pro Gen 2 from XP Pen. That screen felt really textured and grippy, whereas in this one it's kind of plasticky and soft. The pen nib also moves a little bit when you press down, so you're very aware that you're not drawing on paper. Now, this isn't to suggest that drawing on the screen feels bad by any means, but I'm just saying don't go expecting it to draw on paper because it doesn't feel that way at all. Though what impressed me is that the screen is also laminated, so there's little delay from where the pen hits and where the screen is. It feels nice and responsive, and it seems like more and more tablet companies are adopting this approach. Another cool thing about the screen and pens is that you can also draw even when you tilt the pen really extreme like this. When using the thinner pen that Veikk provides, it gives a much more traditional angle of drawing, which is awesome for things like light shading. Oh, and speaking of the thinner pen, I think I'm in love. The thinner body gives a totally different kind of drawing experience, and I personally like to use it more for detailed work. As is common now with drawing tablets, the screen itself is built with anti-glare, so you don't see your overhead lights. This makes it really easy to work on when you're drawing at night. The surface itself of the screen is nice and smooth and quite heat resistant too. The ports where the tablet is plugged in stays cool basically the entire time, which leads to a much more comfortable drawing experience. This is also something that I haven't experienced with other tablets because wherever the port connects to usually gets pretty warm, not in the case of Veikk. Something unique about the Studio 16 pen display is that there's also a scroll wheel built into the side of the tablet. This feels really tactile to use and you can hear an audible click when you rotate it. I mean, just listen to this. The best part is that this scroll wheel is also mappable, so you can have it increase your brush size or zoom in, it's really up to you. There's also 5 mappable buttons on the side. I've mentioned before in previous tablet reviews that I don't really use the side buttons because I have a wireless keyboard, but to be honest, I've been using Veikk's scroll wheel just because it's really conveniently placed and it feels really nice to use as well. Now we're going to move on to the 3 cool and 3 annoying things about the Studio 16 pen display. The first cool thing I want to mention is all of the accessories you get. I feel like Veikk really went above and beyond by providing us with 2 pens, a drawing glove, tons of nibs, and a stand and all the cables we'd ever need. The second cool thing is this scroll wheel on the sides. I mean, come on, I haven't actually seen other tablet companies do this before. It's a really good way of having something useful to use while conveniently placed. The third cool thing is just the way that the pen pressure feels when you draw. You can get some really nice lines and it's way more responsive than other tablets I've used. The pens are nice and lightweight, which definitely helps for drawing for long periods of time too. The first annoying thing is that every time I start up my PC, I have to start up Veikk's application for it to register the pen on the right screen. It keeps going to my main monitor instead of directly on the tablet. Not a huge deal, but just annoying anyway. The second annoying thing is that for my lefties out there, I feel like the screen is not really well optimized for left-handed people. There's an image online showing the tablet used in a left-handed configuration, but they just rotated the tablet upside down to have the buttons on the right-hand side. You can even see the logo upside down. This also doesn't show the practicality of the Ys now being on the bottom because you've rotated the tablet, or the scroll wheel either. The third annoying thing is the lack of color and brightness settings in the Veikk application. I've been able to natively change this in other tablets, so relying on Windows 11's native feature is not as deep as I would have liked it to be. I really feel like this is a sore spot that could be addressed in future updates. So overall, for 470 Australian dollars or 299 US dollars, the Studio 16 pen display is actually a little cheaper than the other tablets I've reviewed on this channel, and in a very comparable size. I gotta say, I'm really quite impressed with Veikk. Even though I hadn't heard of them before, it's clear that they're doing great things and actually innovating in the drawing tablet market. If you're considering a mid-range tablet with a nice responsive screen and a ton of accessories, I definitely say pick this up. I've popped an affiliate link in the description down below, and any purchases done through Veikk also helps to support the channel. But again, do your own research when it comes to these drawing tablets. Don't just take my word for it. Look at other YouTubers and do your own Google searches as well. But all I can say is, in my experience, this tablet really isn't that different to some of the other higher-end ones I've reviewed on the channel, which is a really good thing. Before I go, I want to leave you with a question. Have you heard of Veikk before? And if so, what kind of products have you tried out before? Would you recommend them to other people? Thanks for watching this review, everybody, and until next time, take care.